how's it going everybody? Today we are doing some drift car prep on this thing because this upcoming Saturday is Fuel Fest and the glugs are actually glugging right now, don't mind them. But yeah, Saturday is Fuel Fest, literally 3 blocks that way, which is kind of crazy. But got a little bit of prep to do on this thing before it's ready to rip. This is actually my daily for the week because the 3 is in the shop at the moment. So my plans for this car, as far as tonight goes, I'd like to try and lower this side of the car a little bit because like that's no bueno. You want to see bueno? Bueno. Not bueno. You know. So I'm going to try and lower this side a little bit more. Unfortunately, the rear is maxed out as low as it can go. I do have a little bit of adjustment in the front, so I'm going to drop this side a little bit. The rear might be okay-ish. Equipment-wise, it's not terrible. Also, this wheel is a bit more sunken than the other side. I don't fully know. Maybe it's a bushing issue. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Like, this side, pinking. Like, that's perfect. Pop a tire. This side, maybe I'll try and throw a slightly bigger spacer on it. I mean, height-wise, I feel like that's pretty okay. It's close enough. The front on this side definitely needs to go down a little bit. So we're gonna be working on doing that, and as well. So anytime I've drifted beforehand, don't mind my work shoes, which I actually gotta move. Yeet. So, my fire extinguisher setup has been on the, well, what will be US driver's side, right behind here, but because it's right-hand drive, it's within arm's reach. Problem with this is the bracket rattles to hell. Like, it's secure. It's secure. I promise it's secure, but it just rattles really bad. So my friend Kat, who I'm going to be drifting on Saturday with, well, not with, because Fuel Fest does not allow ride-alongs. Kat gave me this nice bracket, and well, it was silver. I got it powder-coated black by my buddy Mr. Dan Crowders himself. So the point of this bracket is it goes in the passenger, like right around here. So today's goal, first goal before I go and mess with height, is I want to get this mounted and secured so I could get that whole thing removed. So yeah, let's grab some tools and start wrenching on this. So yeah, first order of business is I want to remove the whole setup. So it was a quick release. I could drop it down low. This thing pops out. I might want to put something soft around the extinguisher itself because it might rattle. But I also wanted to remove this old bracket so it's just like not in the way anymore. Did have a little bit of play, but I just didn't really care for these brackets anyway because like they're not really the most ideal. But they work. Like they worked. I had this bracket for well over a year, and it was fine enough. It just got to the point where it might have worn out and started not working as well. So trying out something new, and gonna see how it works out for us. There we go. So old one is out. I just gotta not knock over my beer. Got to finish removing these little sleeves and well. So I apologize if this is kind of a crappy angle. I'm figuring this out on the fly. But so I got some little bit longer thread bolts than I have some spacers for them to accommodate the bracket. But I'm gonna try and get away with just pulling off the front 2 bolts of the seat and sneaking the bracket in and spacering it back down. Yeah, so you got two 14mm bolts on the front, and then the new bolts are actually 13s. So pull this off real quick. Done this a million times. So we got that. Now, go and grab a 13. I'm just going to do it by hand, so I'm not dealing with the ratchet. But I do have a little bit of clay pulling this up. So, in accordance with that, I made these, I made these brackets, or not brackets, I made these straps at work, and they're, can I focus? Yeah. So it's like a Velcro, piece of Velcro and a little metal ring. Can you focus on this instead? There you go. So yeah, it's a piece of Velcro with a little metal ring, and this is going to strap around the bracket itself and the fire extinguisher. So let's figure this out. Never done something like this before, but what a better way to learn. Or the best way to learn is to just, try it out. And grab our spacers, our other bolts, our electrical tape. I don't need the electrical tape. So yeah, like I said, the 30 is in the shop this week. I've been having some electrical issues with it, so I brought it into the dealer to get checked out. Normally I would try and figure it out myself, but because it is my daily, and I don't want to mess things up, I just took the initiative to be like, hey, let's bring it in and get diagged. And it might be a lot more complex than I was hoping, but, things happen. My familiarity only goes to 90s, like, old cars. As soon as I get to the newer stuff, like the 2015, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, anyway, besides the point, back to cars. So we're just gonna move these over. Let's make this bracket. I'm sorry if my head's in the way. So yeah, the bracket just kind of sits right over, which is cool. And then we just grab the bolt and a washer and send her into place. And it seems like I'll have enough room to run my straps on. Not strap on, straps on. I'm gonna do it, I don't need one of those. Alright. Yeah, thank you, Kat, so much for giving me this bracket. I feel like it'll be very, very helpful. I'm just hoping my passenger has enough, like, seating, like, room, so they don't blast the extinguisher. But, they figure it out. So I'm going to continue to just hand thread these in. If you're looking to do this for yourself, if you have a similar thing, I have 10mm by 30mm fender washers, and the bolts themselves were 10mm by 1.25 by 30. So that's the size thread that fits the stock front seat rail. Yeah. Put those set in. And if I really wanted to go crazy with making this look all pretty, I would like paint the whole bolts black, but it's unnecessary. It's literally just a bracket, and the fire extinguisher is probably gonna block most of it, so that's what they're telling me. Okay. So yeah, if you get in my car and you're like, ooh, why is it chrome? The rest of the interior is silver and chrome. Don't dog on me for some chrome bolts. Better than some rusty ones, that's for sure. Alright. And that's in there. You do some more ugga-duggas. 2 ugga-duggas. This side I think is good. There we go. Now, extinguisher is going to go right on here. Which, yeah, I might eventually want to add some sort of padding in there, because I feel like it's gonna rattle. But honestly, it might come down to the event. I might just throw like a shirt over this or something. So yeah. The next step is to take our handy dandy thingies, which are gonna go like this. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of rope this underneath. There might be a more efficient product for this. I made this for very, very cheap, or little to nothing. Okay, nothing. So this is my fix for right now. There might be a more efficient route down the line, but all in due time, you know. Eventually I'd like to turbo this car and maybe get a whole cage one day. I don't know, that's probably being a little too over my head right now for just a basic setup, but a bullet can dream, you know. So these just go right over top of this. Yeah, I might have to do some modifications to these straps. I just don't want it to be too loose as well. Right now there's a good bit of slop. I mean, I guess this isn't like the end of the world, but I don't totally like that. Sliding around and stuff. Y'all have to figure out a better solution for this, or get some tighter straps or something, but for right now, I'll bring these to work and I'll modify them a little bit, you know. At least I have it in there, and I'll decide what's the best. So this is a clip from the future, because I actually made a revision to the... So before I had it like this, and it was pulled over onto itself, but I realized that isn't the way to do it, and you're actually supposed to have this fall back on itself. So the whole way I did this, shove this back underneath here. I realize it's still... Yeah, I realize it isn't wrong, it is in the right direction. So it is a lot more secure. It's better. It's still a little bit loose, but it'll hold it in place for drifting. And then if I need to, I'll just rip it open. We're good. Yeah, that's what we're working with now. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up this project for tonight, and we're gonna go work on lowering the front. If we're able to remove these. Oh. Well, that's, well, there's that. It was actually loose, which I guess is a good reason I got in here. So I didn't measure exactly how much we need to go down, so it's probably going to be a lot of like lowering it a bit, trying to adjust it, all that. So go ahead and try and spin this collar up a little bit. Start with like 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch. It doesn't need to go down a little bit. So we'll eyeball it and go from there. Or we might just send it and see what happens. Start with that. That seems like a decent water room. And actually, I didn't even have to. So I unbolted this bottom out. I didn't even have to do that. Oh well. And pull this down. Lower it. Might need to go down more, but start with this and go from there. So what I'm going to end up doing is putting the wheel back on and jacking up the bottom to seeing how it lines up. Where my bolt go? Bolt's rolling around. I'm going to use a pry bar and pry this down a little bit so I can line this bolt back up. A little fun. There we go. And then I don't have my hammer, so we're just going to give it a couple low taps. The low tap to see the back in place, put the spacer and the nut back on, and I'll test and see what our height's looking at. I hate mosquitoes. Me in a tank top, but it is also very warm outside. Typical Midwest summer fashion. This bottom bolt for the... I realize this video is probably going to go out before I release my doing the coils on my dad's car. But I did a more in-depth video of installing coilovers on his car, so be sure to be tuned for that. Same Silver's Neomax coilovers, just different spring rate. So it's a 17mm nut, 17mm bolt. Makes it real easy. Send it back to town. We don't go back to work. We go back. We get to go. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and grab the wheel, throw it back on, and test fit our equipment and see if we need to lower it some more. Probably will, but we'll play it by ear. Bam. Hopefully I gave myself enough room to put the tire on. And these wheels are so weak spec, but I'm gonna. Yeah, no, I gotta move the jack. Dang it. Okay, there we go. Throw 2 lugs on her. I'd be able to just get away with 1, to be honest. Right in the way. I'm sorry. Alright, so let's go ahead and jack this up and see how low we got. So in the rear, we are actually maxed out as low as we can go, but I wanted to give it an attempt of trying to drop the preload and then mess with the dampening. Ow! I scratched my tattoo. That hurt. Yeah, I'm going to break the bottom collar loose and then just try and I have like no room for this. I need my ratchet right here. Is it a 3/8 ratchet or is it a 1/2 inch? I need to go get a 1/2 inch ratchet. Is it bad that I had one of those? I was years old moments where scanner wrenches had these openings on them, and I never knew what they were for until I found out that you can actually put a 1/2 inch drag on it and crank it that way. So if that doesn't work, we're just gonna ooga-dooga with smacking it with a hammer. But because I don't really have the clearance Yeah, no, I don't have the clearance for this, unfortunately, so I'm just going to have to use the hammer. All reliable, always works. So we're going to do my original method of dropping coilovers when I only owned coilovers that didn't have full dampening and adjustability, aka my Racelands. The way that I figured out how low I was actually putting the car was by counting the threads. So I'll go through and put our fingernail up to the top one. 1, 2, 3. So to the very bottom one is 12 threads showing. I want to try and get to like 8 or 9 maybe. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but I do want it to be a little bit lower. And they're going to be like, oh my god, you're messing with the preload. I've had a couple people recently tell me that these are preloaded, so you don't need to like add preload to the spring. I don't know if that's true. I might be totally wrong. I might be totally screwing this up. But if it gives me a little extra low in the rear, I'm going to try for a little extra low in the rear. So yeah, as soon as I finish this, which I also don't want to make this too low, I'm going to go ahead and drop the whole car, check out the height, and I'm going to have to do this a couple more times, but, you know, that's all in due process. I need to use the other spanner wrench. Okay, we'll drop her down to like 8 threads. We're at 10 threads. We'll go to 9 respectful. So that's 9, so I gotta get the rest of this turned down. Which it might not turn. Oh god. It was turning before. It ain't turning now, that's for sure. How can I do this? I have to spin this back up and go and try and turn the whole thing, I guess? No, it's literally just spinning. Damn it, okay. Anyway. These are... how many pivots? That's 9. That's where I want it to be. I might have to remove the lower bolt, which is a 19, and give it some slack so it can turn. I'm turning it. God damn. I hear noises. Why do I hear noises? We'll come right back to this. So you're not going to be able to see it well, but I was actually able to stick this spanner in these holes and get this whole thing to turn. So we're just going to set this down a little bit lower and play it by ear. I don't want too much slack in the spring itself. Like if I get this down too low and it doesn't, and there's slack, I'm going to raise it a little bit, but start with this. Yeah, the bottom collar is where I want it to be. Oh, I turned it. So spring's still secured, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's about where I want it to be, I believe. go ahead and tighten this thing back up and put the car on the ground and give her a test fit. Again, said it before, say it again, I don't want it to be too low, because I actually really like the height it was at, but then again, it was a little like tilted. The driver's side was actually lower than the passenger side, and it didn't look even. So trying to even it out, trying to make it too low, but not make it too low, but I know I'm going to be scraping on more things. You know, it's balance. It's a drift car. It's still got to look good. And if you have a drift car that's raised, lower it. I don't care if you have a G35 and you think it's so Kansai style. Lower that shit. It don't look good. So that's good. We'll just tighten this top collar back up, and we'll go ahead and set the car on the ground. And there's bugs everywhere. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these collars totally parallel, unfortunately. So I think that, can these bugs not screw off? Screw each other? I don't care. Get out of here. Hell no bread. Okay. So that's a bit tighter. Go ahead and lower this thing back down and take a look at the fitment. Sorry about the change in content, but I ended up running out of time, running out of daylight. I had a phone call, you know, life happens. I wasn't able to finish recording, but I did get the car pretty much lowered. I'll show it off tomorrow. But yeah, so I got all of what I wanted to get accomplished done tonight. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done before the event this weekend, because you know, with having to rely on taking the car to work tomorrow and every day this week, I can't really get done what I was originally planning. Like, I bought some candle bond and some like earth magnets in order to like attach my side skirts better, and I wanted to be able to like take the skirts off the car and mess with it a bit more, but I don't think I have the time frame for that. So I think Friday I'm just gonna stick some more double-sided tape on it and send it and call it a day. But yeah. So hope you sorry. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you are in the area, it is in Bridgeview. If you're in the Bridgeview area or nearby, there is a drift event, car show, meet and greet, many other things going on. There's like a concert as well going on. It's at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. It's called Fuel Fest. I will be there drifting. Come by, get a ride along, hang out, you know, have a good time. Bunch of the homies are going to be there driving. Should be a good time. The main event is based around Cody Walker, and special guests are like Tyrese Gibson, and you know, it'll be a cool time. Lots of cool cars, cool activities. Try to make the best of it. So yeah. Spectator tickets are a little expensive, I will say. Everything there is a little bit expensive, but, you know, make the most of it. So, anyways, hope you guys have a good night, good morning, whenever this is. Crowd posting this in the morning. Hope you have a great day. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.